Hello everybody. This next pattern, it's an all-purpose nymph called the Rhychy. R-H-Y-C-H-Y. I will put the recipe in the description and explain the materials as I go. Got a size 12 standard nymph hook. I'm going to use 70 denier UTC in black. So lay a base down to the start of the bend. We're going to tie the tail in. Right about there where the barb would be if this was a barbed hook. Now for your tail, you got 4 strands, 3 or 4 strands, pheasant tail fibers tied pretty long, at least a hook shank in length. So do a turn right there and take a look at it, see if you got it where you want it. That's good enough. Couple of lock-in turns there. Go ahead and snip this off. Now we do have a rib on this thing, which is UTC wire and green. I'm using medium size. You could probably go down to brassie if you want, but I think the medium size looks just a little bit better. Now I'm going to tie this the whole length of the shank, just to give it a more even body, not necessarily for the weight factor, but I'm tying this along the side right here. Try to keep it lined up best you can. Pull that back just a little bit. There we go. And catch it in all the way back to where we started our tail. Now for the body, it's just green yarn, lighter green than the rib. This is one strand. When you have it looks pretty thick, but it's not really. You have a standard piece of yarn, you can unwind it into the 3 different strands, so that this is one of those 3 strands. So just catch that in. And about to where we want to start the bottom. So this stuff is a little bit fuzzy. You can lick your fingers, pull it tight, spin it, whatever you want to do to get a nice tight looking body. That first wrap, I'm trying to cover the black thread back there. And just lay this down one pass up. Should cover all your black thread. It's going to be a little bit fuzzy. You could trim that off if you want. I just leave it. You'll capture some of that fuzz in when you're wrapping the rib. So get your body all the way up here to where we're going to tie the hackle in. So you go, yeah, one more is fine. Now make sure we get that locked in right there. Now we just wrap the rib. Try to keep that fuzz out of the eye when we finish it off. Fairly tight wraps, not too close together. Can you tell that this is a dark green? It looks almost black on my monitor right there. But it is. It's like a forest green color. Has a good pop and contrast on that light green yarn. Let's see, let's get these. Don't worry how that last wrap looks, it's going to be buried. Going to be covered with our hackle. So a couple wraps behind it. Get in front of it now, a couple of tighter wraps right here. Hold your thread tight while we spin this off. Now if you need to bury the sharp end of that wire you just trimmed off, now would be the time to do that. So for the hackle, just brown soft hackle, brown hen soft hackle, tied pretty long. So I've got a piece right here. I want to catch it in with the concave side toward the hook. Let's see, it's a soft stem on this thing, but I'm going to bend it back and try to just lock it in with it bent there. That should do. Should be able to spin this just fine. It's not a real long feather, so I'm going to use the hackle pliers here, and then you might be able to see with my fingers out of the way. So just preen these back. We're going to do 2 wraps. That will give you lots of fibers with this piece. See that? Almost looks like an old school spider pattern. They would call it a spider or a wet fly. And you could fish this like a wet fly. It's listed in the Fly Pattern Encyclopedia as an all-purpose nymph, but you could just easily fish this as wet, swing it, or weight it, and fish it however you'd fish a standard nymph. So let's pull these back right here. Get a ramp going up to that, maybe 1 wrap or so on the fibers just to hold them back. And let's take a look. Are we splayed around like we want? Yep, I think so. So let's just smooth out this head a little bit. 4 or 5 turn whip finish and some head cement. And this, the Rhychy, will be done. I think I got one of those fibers inside my whip there. And maybe not. Maybe so. See if I can pull that one out. Not very well. I broke it. But we'll go ahead and snip that one. Let's put a drop of head cement and see how this thing turns out. Let's see. Doesn't take much. That's not a real big thread head up there, but I got a little on my bodkin right here. Just try to spin it around, cover all this thread. That's 1 coat, got it all covered. Could probably use 2, I'm sure, if you really want it to be secure. Whoops. Then just 10 seconds or so with your UV light. Quick spin there. And there you have it. All-purpose nymph called the Rhychy. R-H-Y-C-H-Y. Very easy tie. Fish it like a nymph or swing it like a wet fly. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching.